So now we have the second half of the reading program. After short vowels comes long vowels. And I have the first 5 books are on the E at the end of a word. I did just 2 stories at first, thinking, oh, and then I'll go into the 2 vowels together to make a long vowel. And it wasn't enough, so I did 3 stories. And because I had the children with me, it still wasn't enough. So then I did 4 and 5 stories. And then they had a good, strong foundation. After the 5th story, when there's an E at the end of a word, then it's a long vowel sound. So once we had that foundation, we went into 2 vowels together for book 6, is They Want to Paint. And all the other books then mix the E at the end of the word and 2 vowels together. So we have on the line, we have the long vowel resources. This link will bring us down to the bottom, but we're going to go through the books here. And on the books are read to you, and also there are online activities to reinforce all the new rules and the words. And we go down, and now we go to the teacher resources, and it lists all the lists. It lists all the teacher resources and the overview of the games and the contents. And the teaching content is our map for each book, so that is a very important resource, 1 page per story. And we keep on going down, and it'll tell you all these other reading strategies, etc., the teacher guide. The hands-on printouts, these are all printouts that the children can use. And we keep on going down here, and it says, and then the videos will help you making a book with how to fold it, how to hold a pencil, for printing, and for classroom games. And here's another one. And the Melting Snowman game is down here, I think, down here, last one. Oh no, it's a body spell, that's a fun one. Melting Snowman is up higher when I have a picture of me with a snowman and a stick. But these are all videos underneath that will help you with the program. There, that one's the Melting Snowman game. So when we go down to the teacher resources, we're still going to come up with the teaching content for each book, and it's going to have words, grammar, writing, and discussion. And this is going to be the end of grade 1, the beginning grade 2, and the whole grade 2 program. So for the grammar, in each story, I add a contraction, and I add compound word, and I also add irregular plurals, and also irregular past tense. So many times we have the children say, I run to school. And they're using the proper grammar of ed at the end for past tense, but it's a rule breaker. And so for them to learn ran, instead of teaching it all in 1 week, all the unusual past tenses, I put a little bit in each story so that it looks like a lot of grammar, but it's just a little bit. So it's more of a natural accumulation of the rules. And so it sounds right to their ears, rather than memorizing all the past tenses. So what we have in our content here, and we also have classroom activities that you can do as a class, and oral language opportunities and the discussions. That's 2 discussions, questions for each story. These are all lists that are going to be on each of these books. And then the rhymes and the chants, there's a couple of books at the end that have rhymes and chants to them, and children love those. Writing activities is a list for each book, and the reading strategies is the list of what we should be doing to encourage the children to read at different stages. We have the template for the magic box. So the child reads the word cat, and it goes in and it comes out upside down. Because it goes in the slide, slides down, and comes out. So they say, oh, I was correct. So that's in the pile that I don't need to practice. If they had said can, and they had put it in, and it wasn't a can, they said, oh, that's the pile that I need to practice. So it's not a right or wrong pile. It's I don't need to practice this pile, but I need to practice this pile. And then they teach themselves that word back and forth. So down here on the hands-on printouts is going to be in the contents here. So the first one we have here is I Hope Magic E Will Hop In, is book 1. And this is where we're teaching the E at the end of the word can make a short vowel sound into a long vowel sound. Pretend the E can stretch its arm around the back of the last letter, tap the middle vowel, and whisper, say your name, say your name. So it's the same as we have in the great illustration that Graham Ross did for the front of the book 1. But this is the lesson that you will be teaching, and you will be talking to the children about this. So that hop becomes hope, cub is cube, cap is cape, Tim is time. So you talk to these, and this is the lesson that you're teaching before you start the book. Magic E words in the story, and then we list the magic E words in the story. But what you might want to do is read the story. We do a picture walk first, and then they were going to, it's a lot easier to imagine the words and to see the words in the sentence than to actually read them in isolation. So we're going to read the story, do a picture walk first. The very beginning is what we're going to learn, but we're just going to do a picture walk. So you don't have to look at this side, you're looking at this side. And what the little boy is doing, and he's saying, say your name. Second one, just look at the picture. And once again, if it's one child, let the child talk about what he sees or she sees. If it's a class, have them just have their own thoughts. And not talk out loud. Oops, I'm sorry. So now we've done the picture walk, we're going to read the story. And now you can talk about this, but the children really want to get to the story, and this is what they're going to be learning. You've already taught them that the E at the end stretches behind to say your name. You've already said hop and hope and cube and cape and time. And these other ones we're going to find in the story. And the sight words you should go over with them is play, say, your, good, now, only, find, fly, and away. But once again, it's going to be easier for them to know these words in the story. So we're going to do the story first. It's time to play a game. Letter E runs to the end of hop. It taps the O and whispers, say your name. Hop turns into hope. It's a magic E. That's one of the games in the classroom activities that we have. The cub is running to catch the butterfly. I hope Magic E will hop in. Oh yes, Magic E hops in. The cub is a cube now. The butterfly is safe. Super Kid gets her superpowers from her cape, but she can only find her cap. I hope Magic E will hop in. Oh good, Magic E hops in. The Super Kid gets her cape. She can now fly away to help save lives. Tim will be late for his baseball game. I hope Magic E will hop in. Oh good, Magic E hops in. Tim has more time and he isn't late. He hits the ball. He runs to all the bases and gets a home run. Hooray! Thanks, Magic E. Now at the last page of the book, not for the children, this is for the teacher. This is for the teacher, this is for the teacher. And these are going to be on the teaching content page. So now that we have a picture walk and we've done it, and now we look at the other words in the story, the children can name them for you or you can put them down, of all the ones that we've just read. The activities. Now the activities that we have, you can print out on hands-on printouts, or you can use them in the online games that will be showing you in the book. So each book will have the words in the story read to them. So each book will have the activities. In this book 1 activities, we're going to have the puzzle game, and we have them in hard card printouts as well. There is an audio for the picture, but not for the word.
Cube. Cap.
So you drag the word that you think it is,
Cube.
click on the picture,
Tim. Cap.
And so in the puzzle game, we have a printout of all there, and I suggest that you try to have the children do each game at least 4 times. When it says you did it, play the next game, because we have them in groups, and we have 3 pages for sure of different words. And I always, for the beginning, I'm doing a short vowel sound and a long vowel sound. So you have cub, cube, cat, cape, Tim, time in the puzzles. But if you do, it's on a random section, so it's on a random mode, so that you might get the same ones again. So have the children do at least 4, if not 5 times before they go on to another game, because then they will have hit each word. And the next one is choose the correct word. And once again, you click on the picture, it will give you the word.
Cube.
But the words, now we want them a little bit more independent, so they have to decide, is the word cube, which they are told, is it this word, number 1 or number 2? They click on number 1, which is cub, and they press submit.
That doesn't sound quite right.
And then they click on number 2, cube, and submit. It'll go on. So that gives them some independence. They still have to read it themselves, but the audio for the picture is there. So it'll tell them that they're looking for the word cube. And they have to decide, is always an E or without an E, so that it's practicing that long vowel sound. So now the next one is matching the word to the picture. Once again, we have the list here of all of them. If you click on match the word to the picture. Now we're going to have, the pictures are going to have audio.
Cube.
And then, so cube, you decide on cube, you have to decide where the word cube is now. Now if it's the wrong one, it'll shake once
Cube.
and once, and then it'll disappear. There. So now cape.
Cape. Cape.
It's fun, isn't it? All right, so we go on that. So that was good. Once again, we have 3 pages, but if you have them to do 4 or 5 pages, you make sure that they will catch all the words then. Now we go to the missing letter. Missing letter is a spelling game, but I didn't want them to have all the letters. It's too confusing. I want them to have success. And they are learning this, and they're still having success. So now they only have 2 vowels. They can click on this, and it'll say the word cube.
Cube.
But the sounds won't happen because you don't want an A sound or an S sound. So this one, none of the letters will sound out, just the word. So now the children will know, I either put it here or here.
Cube.
And then the audio will say it again. And now in the beginning, books 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, we know the E always goes at the end. So that'll be a help to them. Now here, now book 1 has a lot of sight words. There's a lot in this program. But a lot of these they have had before in book 1, or they will have come across it in your programs. So you can click on the word to review.
Play. Say.
So you can review them yourself before you start the sight words. And then it's the same thing, but there are only 3 sight words. Now, once again, it won't say it until
Your.
it's a match. So the child, when they turn them over, they should say it out loud because they have to be able to recognize the word. So try another one. And the child is going to say, say. Say. Play. The child has to say the word first before turning over.
Play.
Good. Now the next one is matching the tense. So these are all irregular past tense. Run, ran, sing, sang. But a couple of them, like stop and stopped, has a D sound. So there are a couple of ordinary ED at the end of a word, but most of them are irregular. And we're going to do one now for book 1. So you can click on, they all have audio. So if you go to gets and go to ran, it'll say the audio for you. It's not a trick. We want them to be able to read it and say, oh no, that's not the past tense. So these have audio for all of them. And those words are used in the stories. Next one is matching contractions. And it's going to be the same type of thing. And once again, contractions, they're taught in grade 2. They're going to be in the story. And they're going to have audio for all the cards.
It is. It's. Is not. Isn't. He is. He's.
So that's going to help them. It's just a little bit for the contractions. So here we have the missing word. I like this one. So now, once again, the dark letters are not read out. Only the two choices.
Cube. Cub.
Now, the child has to decide. They have to read themselves. The is running. Now, is it the cub is running or the cube is running? They have to, in their mind or out loud.
Cube. The cube is running. That doesn't sound quite right. Cub. The cub is running. Yes, that's right.
And I had a student who loved putting in the wrong word because it sounded so funny, and he'd be laughing, the cube is running, and to have that. So it's kind of it's a fun game, but also it has them listening to, does it make sense? And the last one is make a sentence. Now, we're going to have more, this is 3, but we're going to have a lot more words. But once again, there's only one word that will have a capital. And if it's the name of a person, it'll be the first word, because I want them to know that the first word is always capitalized and the last word always has the punctuation.
The cub runs. The cub runs.
Once again, if they're in the wrong order, then it won't be read.
Lives. Super kid. Saves.
So the narrator will not read it to you because it doesn't make sense. But you can click on each of them.
Lives. Super kid. Saves.
And say, does that make sense?
Super kid. Lives. Lives. Super kid. Save. Lives. Lives. Super kid saves lives.
So the narrator will only read it when it's correct. And so now we've done the puzzles with, so all of these can be printed out. So this is for book 1. There are only 6 words, and these are puzzles. And they're the same shape for the short vowel and the long vowel. This is the same cape and cape, the same shape. So they have to really decide which goes together. So these are for each book. So they're the same words as we just saw on the interactive games. So you're going to have the puzzles with pictures, matching picture and word card games. It's the same as what we had in the game. You cut out the ones you need. It's 1 page per book, so that's kind of tidy. Then we're going to have the Magic Box Words Pictures sight word memory game. So that's going to be in the printouts as well. So we have cub, and the cub is at the back here. What we do have, though, is on these, we have 2 papers. And so we have the cub, all the words on one paper. We have all the pictures on the other paper upside down. So when you print them both out, if you glue the backs to each other, cub will have the picture of the cub on it. All right. So if you're gluing it with paper, that's fine. We can do it that way. And then we have a sight word memory game. Same type of thing. So it's all the sight words, and you print 2 of each sheet and you turn them over to match them. Make a sentence game is similar to the activity online. You cut out the word cards and you put them in order. And so they have the word cards have the book number in the corner. so that you know which goes with. There are 3 sentences to each book story. And we have it as A, B, and C, so that you can have, so book 13 has 4 words to it. It's book 13A for the 4 words. The next sentence is book 13B. And then they have, so those are our, and then we have a 3D cutout, make a sentence game, 3D animal cutouts for book 5 and imaginative play. Book 5 has cutout animals that Graham Ross, the illustrator, kindly included in his pictures because I had already done them for the sight words, for the short vowel words. And so the 3D animals are A is for cat, I is for pig, O is for dog, E is for hen, U is for duck. They already are used to this in the short vowel book, but what I decided to do was to make them into 3D tree and fences. So we have the pictures over here of the scene that they can have, and they can make it as their own imaginative play, and they can also use it for the story in book 5. But I love the children being able to make their own stories, and so they could make their own stories using any of these things and adding so much more. They have creative, they're so creative. So on our teaching content now, our map, we have the sight words that we were teaching listed. We have more magic E words so that we have cut and cute, us and use. These aren't in the story, they're just extra words that you can teach the children. Other words to learn in the story are like letter, whispers, turns, magic. It's words that they're going to have to know in the story. I also have find, but then I have some rhyming words, mind, kind, hind, the ones that are related to it. For good is would, hood, and stood. So there's some words that are related. Isn't, ball, and hooray are words they have to learn. Some words can have the same spelling. So when you're going to come across words, the long I in lives, a frog has 2 lives. It has 1 life in the water and 1 life in the land. But here is lives. So it's a magic E, but it's not magic. So it's a rule breaker. It's lives, short I vowel is she lives with her mother. So the children are, now that they're reading more words, they're going to come across this and it's going to be confusing. So it's good to show them that if it doesn't work with one sound of an I, try the short vowel I sound. The contractions, we're going to have a couple in each story. So for this book 1, it was it is its, is not, is isn't. Compound words, we have baseball and super kid, 2 words put together to make 1 word. Regular plurals, just add an S for base to bases. So you're learning that because you're going to get into child and children. So here it's good to know the rule for normal plurals. Irregular plurals is life and lives. So that's why we had it. It was a rule breaker. We don't say lives, we say lives. We change it. And draw and write about you as a super kid. So once again, children like to illustrate a story of a picture and then write about it. And other children like to write a story and then illustrate it. So here they just have to, so it only has to be 1 sentence. But if we do the fold out books later on, there's a blank one all the time. And so that you can cut it out, put some lines on it, and have it, there are lines on it, and have it as their own storybook. The oral language is student discussion questions. Once again, I'm not getting into comprehension questions per se, because they're very short stories. So this one is drawing on their own background knowledge and their own imagination. List other games that need a ball. And also, Tim was late for his baseball game. Why do you think he was late? So it gives them involvement in the story and then also their own imagination. And they have to learn to answer in complete sentences. And then at the bottom it says print folding paper book for students to read and illustrate. So once you print, this is book 1, if you have an 11 by 17 printer, that's fine. If you don't, we have here, the folding books. If you print 2 of the sheets, we have it so you take them together. So this, and we have the book numbers on them. So here are the 2 sheets. I tape them together into, it makes it 11 by 17. And it's the folding paper. Video is at the bottom. you fold it with the words showing long ways. You fold it with the words showing this way. You fold it back without the words showing. You fold it back again without the words showing. Open it up a little bit, and you cut. You cut just into the middle on the line, and you fold it out again, fold it the long way, and because you fold it in such a way, you're going to fold it into a book form. And the children will love to open it up again, so have them do it in front of you so they learn, so it's folded in the right way afterwards. So have them fold it up, put it like an accordion, fold it in, and the book numbers, pages aren't numbered here, so that'll help them. If it is in the wrong order, they'll understand it's not. There we go. So they read it, so they don't have a picture to go by, so it really shows you which words they know and which words they don't. And then they can illustrate what they would like. And so when the children are finished, they're doing the illustration for and they want to do their own story. They've done their folding book. There's a blank one at the end of both short vowel and long vowels where you can print it out and they can write their own story. And what I'd like to say too is there is a lot in this program. It is a huge amount of material for the children to go through and for the teacher to go through. And it's the whole grade 2 program really in language arts. It's the sight words, and it's the learning of the long vowels. It's learning of quiet K for night and knee, and quiet W for wrist and wristwatch. There's a lot of grammar that they are learning. And so the games have made it so it's a stepping stones for them to have a good, strong foundation. So they can go as slowly as they need to go to get a firm foundation. Go at the pace of the child and not at a certain date to finish something, because it's so important. Once they have the firm foundation, there is the sky is the limit. But this is their doorway to the reading, and really they need the small steps of success to feel confident and have enough courage and interest and engagement to continue on.